Kachenu, NamRA nchi yetu, NamRA Kachenu, NamRA nchi yetu, NamRA Kachenu, NamRA nchi yetu, NamRA Kachenu, NamRA nchi yetu.
NamRA, serving with passion.
Hello and welcome to this edition of NamRA Kachenu, where the focus is on tax, customs and excise matters. I am Puye Ipawa Mwaitako, keeping you company for the next half an hour or so. In recent developments, NamRA kicks off 2023 with a staff engagement. NamRA celebrates International Customs Day in Oshikango. All that and more coming to you in a while. NamRA has prioritized stakeholder engagement. This time, the focus was on staff to set up the tone for 2023. Here is NamRA Commissioner Sam Shivute.
There are no world-class institutions. There are only world-class individuals or employees or professionals. And therefore, it's us who should become the best that we can be for our institution to become the world class. I also want you to understand one thing, that NamRA is like a vehicle. Yes, today the colleagues who gave these three examples could be from domestic tax and customs. I want you to understand that for us, it's all about teamwork. For us, it's all about collective effort. We want to know all the superstars. We want people within NamRA to be known, not because of how they talk, not because of what they promise, but known as what we call performance currency, known because of the work that they deliver. Because without us delivering, we will not be able to achieve our mandate, we will not be able to build trust and confidence to our shareholder and all the clients, and we will not be able to achieve world-class status without that. The work of being service to humanity, making sure that the elderly are provided with social grant. Hospital, there is medication. Schools, teachers are paid and there are resources. We are behind schedule. Colleagues, we admit we're supposed to have done that by end of September, but you can see it's a lot of work because it's interview, because our work is not only recruitment. We have also to run the business and transform the business and deal with all the challenges that we are facing on a daily basis. And it's not only recruitment, but I think give the colleagues a round of applause, they have tried. Let me get to know you through your work. You understand? It's very easy through your work. When performance currency, I'll be able to call you even directly. No one will stop me from calling someone directly and so on if I know that you deliver. If your bosses did not bring the name, I'll get to know you. Deliver, because the mandate and the strategic objective is very clear. We want to be a data-driven institution. We need to develop our data analytic capability and management. ICT, I know you had a meeting with Dr. Mugongo. We need to have that function. We need to automate. I want to see number. I want to see percentage. I want to know in the region, because numbers help me. When I get a briefing from customs and from domestic tax, and I know that, okay, with regard to the Section 91, how much have each region collected as a result of that? It gives me a good perspective, because I know that, okay, if Katima get this percentage and Shakati get this, and I look at the population, then it already shows me who is performing and who is not performing. I need us to work with number. How many operations, how many, the statistic and so on. I want us to hold hand like our president said. I want us to revive ourselves. I want us to challenge ourselves and ask ourselves, what have I delivered? What different can I make? Ask yourself, what can I do to be relevant in accordance with the strategic objective? If your position is not managerial, just be honest and say, no, there was a mistake here from the colleague who did that. Please demote me. So on that note, colleagues, I say it's a great 2023. I wish you well. I want you all to create a conducive work environment. I want you all to make sure that it's mandatory for all NamRA meetings with external stakeholder and also our meeting for us to know that this brand, it's only us who can market this brand. So with that note, make sure that you know the strategic objective. Let's work on our scorecard. Let's make sure that they also scorecard with the manager. Let's work on the recruitment. Let's work on building this institution, making sure that we have the best of the best in the proper position. Let's make sure that the systems are updated. Let's make sure that transformation takes place. And anything that can be automated, this digital transformation, I want to see the result. The culture, zero tolerance to corruption, integrity, the key. And in conclusion, I just want you to know that we should continue to be committed to be a world-class revenue agency, serving with passion to positively impact the livelihood of every Namibia. We must.
On the 26th of January 2023, NamRA celebrated the International Customs Day in Oshikango. On that day, NamRA unveiled the Customs and Excise uniform, and 20 officials from various regions were awarded for exceptional work for the past year. Here is what transpired on that day.
Can work as an island. NamRA cannot work without all of you. NamRA cannot work without the police. NamRA cannot succeed without the political support and leadership. But if NamRA win, if NamRA stop the leakage of the millions that has been stolen by criminals through fraud, if we stop that, I can tell you that a better future for our beautiful country is around the corner. I want to thank all of you, even though it's not my role to thank all of you, just to say that your presence, the leadership of the region and Namibian police and our colleagues from Angola, to be here to witness and celebrate the efforts and the great work done by these men and women in uniform. We are very, very grateful. And I would want to wish the entire global customs community and my colleagues from customs a happy International Customs Day. I thank you, and let's continue serving with passion. God bless you.
It's also important to highlight that customs is an essential service of our nation, and this was evident during the lockdown or travel restrictions due to the COVID-19 pandemic. They were working non-stop to ensure the supply chain and business continuity throughout the pandemic period. Customs officials cleared much-needed oxygen and medicines for our hospitals during the emergency situation. These are great achievements that we will always be grateful for as a country. I am informed that the World Customs Organization is dedicating 2023 to nurturing the next generation, promoting a culture of knowledge sharing and professional pride in customs. The theme, therefore, is an opportunity for NamRA as an institution responsible for customs administration to strengthen its stakeholders' engagement strategy, which includes taxpayers and traders education programs, and aggressively promote the culture of knowledge, sharing, and professional conduct.
Mrs. Ferry Paulus. Mr. Monet Lucas. Mr. Paul Sitekeka, Senior Customs Director, Customs Valuation and Classification.
NamRA's second anniversary is on the radar, and in the moment, Stephen Dorokade will be having a conversation with the founding chairperson of the Namibia Revenue Agency, Madam Anna Nakale Kawana.
We administer tax and custom laws so efficiently and consistently. We are ethical, effective in changing lives. We are there for you. This is your revenue. NamRA, serving with passion to positively impact the livelihood of every Namibian.
You're still tuned in to NamRA Kachenu, and as promised earlier on, we'll be talking to the chairperson of the NamRA board, Madam Anna Nakale Kawana. Ma'am, it's a pleasure having you on NamRA Kachenu.
It's also my pleasure to be sitting here and to be on this studio for the first time early in the year. Thank you very much.
We're just using this opportunity to merely reflect. Now, talk to us about those initial stages since your appointment as the chairperson of the board. What were some of the things that you needed to get right?
Yeah, we were appointed early after the act was passed, or the law, and by then staff members were not appointed, especially the commissioner. And as we all aware, NamRA Act allows for the commissioner to be appointed so that the operations of the agency starts. So, but we were appointed, and then we were given the task to start putting in place policies and structures where we could, which could enable us to appoint the staff members, including the commissioner for the agency.
Mm-hmm. Talk to us about the appointment of that commissioner. What kind of a job was it?
It was not an easy task for us, because we have really to look for somebody suitable for the position. Even putting up the team, the interview team, it was comprising of people. We even have to bring in the SARS commissioner, the commissioner of South African Revenue Services, to assist us in making sure that we get to this person. So the requirements were quite high. Since it's a top position in the agency to collect revenue, it also needed a lot of thorough cleansing, thorough vetting. So it took a bit of a long process, but we managed at the end to have our commissioner in place and in office.
The commissioner has been appointed. So what was the required regulatory framework? What are some of the documents you had to work on and ensure that they were in place as a board?
Yeah, as a board, we had to put operational policies into being. So, and after the commissioner was appointed, it was even a blessing for us to be able to finish them together with the commissioner. And then immediately the commissioner has also started recruiting most of the executive members of the agency, and that also assisted in completing these policies together with management, who would be working with them. And the ones we have started completing first are the ones mostly related to recruitment issues, because even the commissioner, him of herself, has to be appointed on the basis of established policies.
Then you saw the appointment, or rather the approval of the strategic document of the company, the strategic plan, a 3-year strategic plan. What went into that? What informed that document?
Yeah, that document is really informed by issues of how the agency will be run, issues of compliance and enforcement, which is the major operations of NamRA. So, and then together with that, other documents like the compliance strategies were also introduced, so that they can be harmonized together with the strategic plan of the organization. And after the commissioner was appointed, it also gave room for the board to concentrate on governance issues, then looking into the operation issues. And I would say the commissioner and team, they've really done well. They have recruited the most needed personnel in the executive including people like yourself. I hope other institutions are not feeling that we are snatching people, their most valuable people from them, but being one families of government companies, I'm sure they appreciate, and we appreciate that as well.
When you look back and the plans that you had and the timelines that you had, what are the things that you are happy about the most?
Yeah, the things we are happy about is, the strategy and the enforcement strategy. So you can see that NamRA is not just concentrating on recruitment, but they are also concentrating on enforcing the compliance issues. There are now a lot of stories. I'm seeing every day you read the newspaper, you are almost hearing what NamRA is doing. You are seeing actual activities happening. We have seen a lot of fines and a lot of even reporting on actuals, which is collected through activities done of a fraudulent nature. And so that is one of the things we're really saying NamRA it's working hard, being successful, and our strategies are to be implemented and fulfilled. And previously it used to be said, Inland Revenue, it's an organization without teeth. But I think now we are seeing the teeth coming out of this collection system, and we are just hoping that as time goes on, the teeth are sharpening and sharpening, and the taxpayers are getting aware of what is expected of them.
Let me refer you back to the point that you made around the recruitment. You had an obligation to absorb the staff complement previously with the Inland Revenue Department and the Directorate of Customs and Excise. Now that was done by management, but where you are as the board, what were some of the reports that were coming through to you? Couldn't have been an easy exercise.
Yeah, it was not an easy exercise at all. You have staff members who are coming from the ministry. They belong to institutions, stakeholders like the unions. And when one is belonging to unions, you know what goes in. And other stakeholders, also the government itself, we have to liaise with them, the Public Service Commission, because these people are having their contractual terms and conditions which we should not play with. And because we also needed staff members, we could not just get everybody from outside. So we have also to go into arrangements which are of secondment. We have to negotiate with the staff members to agree to be seconded to NamRA and work for NamRA, not at the full remunerated structures, but that was a challenge, and the commissioner and the executive in place by then, they made a good job to explain to the staff members, to explain to people in the corners of government, and it really went through, though nothing you can be involved in, especially issues of recruitment, reforms, and then everything you work smoothly. But it all, so far, I may say, it's all going on well. Though the process also, we thought we could finish this process of taking over everybody from the two departments last year already, but there are other issues which are involved, issues of vetting. There's already cabinet directives that everybody coming on board of NamRA is a must. They must be vetted. So therefore, we have also tried to advise management if we can come up with our internal vetting so that it can assist us moving faster, which was also implemented, and that is assisting us in going smoothly into this process.
Let's look into the future, long term or short term. What remains some of the key challenges that the entity faces?
Skills is one of them. Collecting taxes, it does not mean introducing NamRA, we are going to try to increase rates, but it's more efficient. And when you are to operate on an efficient environment, you need to have good environment. Good environment, things like environment to operate in, is one knows currently we are still having our staff members scattered all around towns, all around, not in one buildings, and that makes it also difficult to work. It's also difficult to harmonize the systems, especially the two systems of customs and inland revenue. So in the long run, we are we have started discussing with the ministry, who is the shareholder of the institution, and they're the one responsible for budgeting and finance, so that we see how we can solve the issues of one, skills, and the issues of accommodation to house the staff members in an appropriate venues and appropriate offices.
As we end this one, talk to your stakeholders, NamRA stakeholders, for a key entity such as NamRA. What should their expectations be?
The expectations should be to be approached by a good professional team. The expectation should be to be approached by not a team harassing them, but as you are saying, we have already started with educational and awareness of stakeholders and taxpayers. It's because we want them to understand, to learn, and to understand their responsibilities, so that they can even voluntarily, we are expecting them to be voluntarily come to NamRA, approach NamRA. Where they have problems, they are mostly welcome to approach NamRA. Where we feel that the problems are not getting closer and closer as we try to them, we will, in a good way, reach them and come to them, so that we can come to a commonly understanding way of collecting tax.
Let me thank you so much for your time.
You're mostly welcome, Stephen.
Anna Kawana, chairperson of the NamRA Board of Directors, talking to us, initially starting with where they started and looking into the future. NamRA Kachenu continues.
We administer tax and custom laws so efficiently and consistently. We are ethical, effective in changing lives. We are there for you. This is your revenue.
NamRA, serving with passion to positively impact the livelihood of every Namibian.
Luis Paulus, a senior taxation officer at the Oshakati Regional Office, assigned to the Taxpayer Audit Service, has served for custom 9 years and 7 years with the domestic taxes. Here is Luis Paulus.
Luis is a goal setter and it's all about serving my nation. I'm currently employed in NamRA for 4 months, where I joined on 1st of October 2022. Previously, I worked as a customs and excise officer, where I gained 9 years of experience. I was promoted to a senior taxation officer to the Directorate of Inland Revenue. Currently, it's called domestic taxes. I gained 7 years of experience. Curiosity caused me to learn about tax, and like they said, I got hooked. What motivates me, I'm very passionate about my work. Seeing a smile of a satisfied customer motivates me to do better and serve more. My mother always say, if you can't do it the right way, then don't even try. I'm currently a senior tax officer at Subdivision Audit, Oshakati Regional Office, where we deal with all type of taxes, VAT, refunds, comprehensive audits. My future plans, I want to retire in NamRA. As I said in the beginning, I have a passion for working in the taxation environment. I plan to continue to grow my knowledge of taxation, especially within the audit environment, and serve the taxpayers to the best of my ability.
Educating taxpayers on our processes is key to NamRA. Here are the requirements for disease estate deregistration.
Hello viewers, my name is Hilma Saya Ukongo, and today I would like to take you through the list of documents that you need to provide us when deregistering a deceased estate account. These are the documents: copy of deceased ID, certified copy of deceased death certificate, certified copy of representative ID, in this case the executor, bank confirmation letter not older than 6 months for the executor or the deceased. Kindly also take note that you need to provide us with a change of banking details application form, which is obtainable from our new business department. Kindly also take note that alongside the documents, you should write a cover letter on which you should write the deceased full name, ID number and tax number, as well as the executor's name and TIN number for the purpose of deregistration. You should also instruct us on what to do, in this case to deregister the estate's account and to issue with the tax clearance and deregistration certificates. Take note, if the estate's old bank account is closed and a new account has been opened, a change of banking details application form is to be completed. If estate or executor is not registered for tax, they should register for tax under threshold to enable them to obtain a tax number. Accounts should be clear of any debit, credit, and all returns should be received, assessed to obtain a tax clearance and deregistration certificates. In case there is a refund and it needs to be paid into the spouse account, they should provide us with a copy of a marriage certificate. And in case the refund is to be paid out in the biological child's account, they need to provide us with a full birth certificate.
Here are the trivia of duties.
Did you know? According to the Value Added Tax Act 10 of 2000, as amended, exempt supplies refers to supply of goods and services that are not liable for VAT and that do not qualify for input deduction, as opposed to zero-rated supplies where there is VAT, but the VAT is zero. A person producing exclusively exempt supplies cannot register for VAT. Now here are a few examples of exempt supplies: medical services, public transport services, and educational services. Now let's take a look at zero-rated supplies. Goods and services that are zero-rated are those that are considered basic and necessary, such as food items and animal feeds. Examples of zero-rated goods include certain foods and beverages, exported goods, equipment for the disabled, prescription medications, water and sewage services. Another example is sanitary pads that were recently reclassified as a zero-rated supply. This means no VAT is to be charged on sanitary pads.
NamRA. Saving with passion.
By now, you are aware that NamRA prioritizes on trade education. In the next insert, we'll show you the procedures when leaving and entering Namibia and the challenges posed by smugglers.
I'm going to explain the procedures to be followed by persons or travelers who are arriving or leaving Namibia in accordance to Section 14 of the Customs and Excise Act number 20 of 1998 as amended. Upon arrival, you are expected to report to customs for you to declare all goods that you might be bringing into Namibia. This includes goods such as any goods that might be carried on behalf of other persons. Upon leaving Namibia, the same procedure applies. You are expected to report or declare to customs any goods that were purchased in Namibia or any goods that are temporarily taken outside Namibia. The same procedure applies to all points of entry when entering or leaving Namibia. Please take note that there are certain products or goods that requires permits or licenses, and you are encouraged to obtain such permits or licenses before leaving Namibia. Failure to do that might result to contravention of the provision of the Customs and Excise Act, and the goods might be detained or forfeited by Customs and Excise.
In the last episode, we spoke about the procedures of the arrival of the cargo at the airport. Now let's dive deeper into the procedures.
Here is today's question. When is the International Customs Day? Kindly email your answer to NamRA Kachenu at namra.org.na. Do note that the date of submission is the 8th of February 2023. The winner will be announced in the next episode.
Before we sign off, NamRA is presenting its first open public presentation on selected topics on tax and trade matters, titled NamRA Talks.
To this point, you would have heard the Namibia Revenue Agency talking about this or that other thing in relation to tax administration. Not so much about what you have to say about it. Now with NamRA Talks, here is an opportunity for us to sit back and listen to you through well-researched submissions that are to be submitted on the selected topics. Here's your chance. Let's hear you.
Kindly note that the due date for the submission of the write-up is the 6th of February 2023. That is all that we had for this edition of NamRA Kachenu. We'll be back again in 2 weeks. Until then, goodbye.
Giving fairness and equality to our nation. We appreciate the difference in ethnicity. We have